I am Chandler. I'm with SkillAbove RV Testers.com. We have tech tools for RV technicians, whether you be in a shop or mobile techs. Our tools were basically designed for me so that I could do my job much more efficient, but then found out that other people wanted them too, so we started selling them. Now, the first tool that I made and had built up is called the Coddiwomple. Okay? Now, it does have a weird name. The Coddiwomple, the term or definition is to wander in a purposeful manner to a vague destination, which is pretty much what you're doing with the tool while you're looking for the control box so that you can override the control box and run slides in, levelers in, awnings in, stuff like that. So this tool was designed to be an override tool. That's it. It was the Sunday morning, try to get everybody slides in, jacks up, get them down the road. That's what it was designed to do. In the Coddi Plus package, you get the Coddiwomple, which has the switches, the screen. It will work on DeWalt and Milwaukee batteries, and of course the dial so that you can run hydraulic systems, a breaker, more importantly, instructions. It's going to have, well, of course, instructions on what every one of these switches do, what the screen says, as well as what every one of these adapters that I've shown you hook up to, what they're called, with a picture next to them as to what they are, okay? As well as YouTube videos that we have on our YouTube channel that are like 2 minutes and less on each one of these adapters. And then of course there actually is the links, QR codes to get you to the app for like the easy switch, so that way you can run that from your phone. But it will come with an adapter to run Lippert Level Up hydraulic systems for towables. It will come with an adapter so that you can run equalizer leveling systems on towables as well as motorhomes. An awning extension cable, so that way you can plug into about 99% of your awnings out there. A pair of 6-foot Schwintek leads, so that way you can plug in at the controller, you become the controller, and you can run both Schwintek motors independently, simultaneously, however you want, okay? And since you're gonna use those so much, we know that you're gonna eventually tear these up, so we send you a short pair as well. So a 5-foot Schwintek at motor harness. This is so when you go to rebuild the Schwintek that broke, you're able to plug directly into the motor and drive the column away from the wall, do your repair, and drive it back in. Also comes with alligator clips that would plug into this awning extension cable, so that way you can plug it into any load you want. You got just a windshield wiper motor, whatever, anything, coil, anything you want to ignite that would be 12 to 20 volts. Also comes with this gray connector here, which is labeled ground control at motor. So if you have an electric leveling system on a towable, the most common one is going to be ground control. And this allows you to plug directly into the motor and be able to run that motor. If you have a BAL electric leveling system, it uses the same connector as well. Then there's this connector that is labeled ground control at controller. Okay, so this one said ground control at motor, ground control at controller. So we can plug in at the motor and run just the motor. If it runs, then we can go over here at the controller and plug into that harness and see if that motor runs. If it no longer runs with this connector, but did with this connector, the only thing in between would be the harness that's in the underbelly. Okay, so we can use it for diagnostics. Okay, now again, if you have a BAL leveling system, it uses the same connector at the controller as well. Now, all of these adapters are labeled. Every single one of them have a label on them to tell you what they're for. Now, that's what their key purpose is. But what you're going to find out is this connector right here is used in other places in the RV space. So if this plugs in to a load, a motor, to a valve, to anything, a fan, I don't care. If it will plug into that load, you can run it. This adapter right here says it's for ground control at the controller. Well, guess what? If you have a power gear slide out system that's a Q-Sync setup, that's the exact same plug, okay? You can use it. It's not gonna hurt anything. You're running the same motors, okay? So you're gonna find that even with this guy right here, this Quickie Step V2 adapter, also plugs into HWH cartridge valves for HWH leveling systems. So that's pretty handy, okay? It is labeled for quickie steps, but that doesn't matter, okay? You can use it for other things. So all the adapters that I just showed right here are what come with the Coddi Plus kit. Now, we also have the Coddi Pro kit. So when you look at all this, there is an option to pro up your Coddi. And what that means is there's a whole nother mess of adapters that I've come out with later on, and they come in a box all together here, okay? So what this does is it takes your Coddi Plus and turns it into our currently every single adapter we have for the Coddi. Now, I'm just gonna kind of set those aside real quick and just show you. One of them's the Easy Switch. As you can see, the bundle and the Master Tech Kit come with an Easy Switch. This allows you to use your cell phone to control things with the Coddi. I'll show you guys that here in just a minute briefly. On an awning, that's where I used it at, and that's what I designed it for, was so that you can move awnings in and out while you're working by yourself. It also comes with an attachment so that you can hook it to Schwintek slides and Slim Rack slides and move those by yourself from your phone, okay? So there's that adapter. It's gonna come with an adapter for equalizer electric jacks. So this is all in the Pro kit. It's gonna come with an adapter for power gear slide systems on motorhomes. Comes with that in. It's gonna come with an adapter for LCI cartridge valves. So it looks very similar to that first adapter that I showed you earlier, but it is slightly different. This one's for cartridge valves. When we get into hydraulics, if you hadn't been through my class yet, we will talk about that. But some of your cartridge valves, that's how you power them. Titan leveling system, or Leveler 5, which is Lippert's newest leveling system that is taking over Level Up. It comes with that adapter, and it allows you not only to run the hydraulic jacks, but now you can run the hydraulic slide rooms, up to 2 rooms, okay? Which is all their controller can do, so not a problem there. It also comes with an adapter for Level Up motorhomes. So if you've got a motorhome with the Lippert Level Up system, that's the plug that you would use. It comes with an adapter for power gear motorhome hydraulics, okay? That's the splitter I was looking for Schwintek and Slim Rack for the Easy Switch. That allows you to run those slides. Comes with an adapter for BAL exact slides. So Alliance is using them, and a few others are using exact slides. This is the adapter to allow you to run those with the Coddi. There's also a 2-pin D-shaped connector. This is going to be for most like your Newmar smaller slide out systems that are electric. That's the plug for those. Then there is a 25-foot Schwintek test harness. Okay, this is very handy because it allows you to diagnose Schwintek harness issues. You can plug directly into the motor, string this across the floor through the seals, whatever, and get to the controller and verify that you do not have a harness issue. Okay, so that's what that is. Then there is 6-foot Slim Rack test harnesses to do the very same thing, but they're heavy-duty test harnesses. These are not replacement cables. You won't be able to put these in the wall because they're much larger, okay? But that is what all comes in the Pro kit. Are you guys ready to go outside and hook some of this stuff up and see it work?
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's more adapters on this table than there is RVs out there, so I'm not gonna be able to hook everything up, but I'm gonna hook up as much crap as I can, all right? All right, so we'll head outside. Okay, so we have a Schwintek slide system right here. It's giving us some issues. I think maybe the battery's bad or the power harness. Something is not giving this slide power, but we need to get the slide out. So we have to identify where the controller is at. Typically, and I say typically, on towables, the controllers are usually in the pass-through bay somewhere. Right up here on the wall. And what I'm going to do is on the control board where it's mounted, I see motor 1, motor 2. I am going to unplug motor 1 and motor 2 harnesses, and I'm going to plug into those. I'm not plugging into the control board. we become the control board. That is key to remember. And plug into motor 1, motor 2. All right, and let's see if this slide will move. It does move. Okay. Okay, now I ran both sides of the slide together. I can run just one side, in or out. And while I'm doing that, I can be monitoring my amperage. So if we're getting a fault on a certain motor, let's say motor 2, and we plug into this and we run it, we can run just motor 1 for a short period of time and then run motor 2 for a short period of time, and we can see if our amperage is stupid high on one of the motors versus the other. That's going to tell us if we have a mechanical bind. Does that make sense? So if they stuck a purple mattress inside this unit and it was a residential purple mattress, it may be pushing on the sidewalls of the slide out, causing the amperage draw to go through the roof because it's putting pressure on the drive mechanism, causing the system to fault out. Okay, we can figure stuff like that out. Okay, now with this tool you have to use common sense because there are no brains in it. You are the smartest thing here. All right, all it's doing is shoving power to this. If you don't get off the button, you can tear stuff up. Okay, so you have to use common sense. So if I were to stay on this, there's a good chance I could strip gears out, tear racks up, tear trim off, whatever it may be. So you have to use common sense. So that doesn't sound good. Don't do that. All right? So that is a Schwintek. A slim rack would be no different. This is for the Lippert level up system. The control box for that system is typically mounted to the ceiling of the generator bay or the pass-through bay, typically center line with the RV. Some of your Brinkleys, they actually put it on the lower level in the generator bay where your inverter is going to be, so it can be kind of difficult to find because it's not all the way up at the top. So just know this is what the box looks like. It's a black box with a white label on it. Look underneath and it says LCI leveling. Now, I'm going to be looking for a 9-pin connector on that box. That's what I found is a 9-pin connector. I unplug it. We become the control box. And so what we're going to do is we're going to plug in our connector that is labeled LCI level up 4 and 6 point. And we're going to plug 9-pin to 9-pin. And then we're going to plug into the M2 port of the Coddi. It is important that you plug into the M2 port because if you plug into the M1 port, you're not going to get all the functions. The rotary switch isn't going to work. Okay? So, right now I have the rotary switch in the off position. Now I can go over here. This is labeled slide and pump activate. If I push this arrow down, it's going to tell the pump to run in the extend position. If I push the arrow up, it's going to tell the pump to run in the retract position. But I have the rotary in the off position, which means there's no pathways open. So this should allow me to do a deadhead test on this system to verify that all my valves are closed up. So I'm going to tell it to extend and nothing should move. Nothing moved. Now we got a bump in the nose. Do you guys remember? Some of y'all may not have seen this, but we took the cartridge valve out. No, y'all seen it. Yeah, took the cartridge valve out and it looked like somebody had dropped it and the valve or the seal was jacked up. We got the bump, but it sealed up.
Probably blew by a little bit.
It blew by just for a second until that seal could seal up, and then it's good. Okay, so we see that we can deadhead it and nothing is moving. Okay, so all of our valves are good. We open channel 1. We look at our amperage. We're at 2.1 amps. Now, if we look at our instruction manual, we're looking for 1.9 to 2.1 amps is what we're looking for a good cartridge valve. If I'm sitting there like that, then I can hit the down arrow and I should be able to run the front jacks down to the ground or retract them. So to the grass, jacks to the sun. Okay. Now this is relation to the jacks, not the RV.
because we're running the leveling system. We're not running the RV, okay? So channel 1 runs the front jacks. Channel 2 should do the left rear. Is it moving the left rear jacks?
Should grip anytime.
All right, and then we move over to the next one, which is going to be right rear. And just remember, middle and rear on the hydraulics are tied together. They equalize one another. So that is right rear, this is left rear, and then we have front. You don't have any middle jacks, so to speak, okay? But we can retract them all up. And then we can get them hooked up on the truck. Now, where this comes in handy is there's some RVs out there that the only way to control the leveling system is from a touchpad that may be mounted outside, okay? And the touchpads for these systems are not waterproof. And so if it gets rained on because somebody left the door open, it will fry the touchpad. Well, you have no other way to run the leveling system. There's no phone app, there's no buttons on the inside, it's just that touchpad. Well, then you're left with a cordless drill and an Allen wrench. Well, then you go hunting around and you find out that the pump assembly is mounted in a corner all the way up against the ceiling of the bay. You can't even use your cordless drill to run the pump motor unless you unbolt the whole entire pump assembly and lay it over so that you can control it. And that really sucks, so that's where this comes in handy. And this is quicker than running the drill any day of the week. Okay, now, is it a fix-all for everything? No. If that pump motor is bad, it doesn't matter. If the brushes are bad, the windings are bad, whatever it may be, the Coddi's not going to fix that. It's going to be taking care of controller issues, power issues, something like that, touchpad issues, but it can't fix motors and it can't fix pumps. Okay, so I'm going to be utilizing my alligator clips. I've got my slide out switch. It's on the wall. Unscrew it. When I unscrew it, I have 4 wires on this switch. Red and black are going to be power and ground coming in. Do not hook to those. But then you're going to have green and yellow. Green and yellow are what go to your motor leads, okay? That's what we're going to hook up to. And this comes in handy with a unit that has sat on the beach for a while and nobody has run the system like they were supposed to exercise it, and everything has gotten rusty, and we are trying to get everything moving freely again, where we might be wire brushing, maybe even having to put some lubricant on it, and we need to run it back and forth, and the wires or the switch can't handle that draw, okay? We can bump the voltage up, which means our amperage draw is going to go down, which means we're not going to overheat wiring, and we may be able to get this thing moving in and out, so that way we can break it free and get everything going good. So in order to do that, we got to find where yellow and green wires come in, and those are the 2 center pins right here. Black and red come in on the top and the bottom, but these 2 middles are yellow and green. All I have to do is come in here, an alligator clip, an alligator clip, okay? And now I can run it, okay? And my amperage is at 3.3, okay? Bring it in. You notice that it moves faster than it did when it was on the switch. And it will still pull in enough to flex everything. All right. So if we look in this bay, if I can see on the other side of the wall, there is a control module with wires hanging out of it. Okay, that's going to be our leveling control board. All right, so right here on this wall is our control module, and every one of these harnesses are labeled. We have LR, RR, RF, LF. Now, that is left rear jack, isn't it, right? That jack that we were just on, left rear?
Yeah.
That is correct, so LR. So I unplug LR from the control module, and I'm gonna plug our harness into it, okay? And so we are plugged into the Coddi on M1, and we're gonna try to run it. Okay, and it now works, correct? So it worked when we were plugged in down there, it works when we're plugged in here. If for some reason we're having issues with this motor running, then that's a pretty good indicator that we have a control issue. Okay, because clearly the power wires are fine.